Welcome to Litopolis, final dream of the late Tahaka. Welcome, friend. A new life awaits you here in Litopolis, the city of Horus. Welcome! Welcome to Litopolis. I never forget a face, and I have not seen yours before. You found it! Your new home! A miracle of a man's labor. The great work begins!
No, that's not...
You just don't know it yet. We give every new arrival a house. Only dig it out and help with the public works. A fresh start!
I'm not here to live in these tough sands.
Speak to some of our new inhabitants, like Nehi. He can tell you how liberating it is to leave the past behind.
I cannot shed my past like a snake sheds his skin.
Welcome, Nebet. The city of Egypt's future welcomes all.
Is it true forgotten secrets are discovered every day?
Many lost works and fragments of the old world are found here. Perhaps not every day, but often enough to make us wonder.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Ha, babe!
Channel for a while, and who have heard this explanation. Really, I most recently had in my video on the Eternals. Bear with me for a second while I kind of run over it for the people who are new here. But with regards to mutants, their origin goes back to like the Eternals and the Celestials, right? The Celestials showed up on Earth. They modified the genes of a handful of early men. One group went forward as the Deviants, which were basically trolls. Another group went forward as the Eternals, who were more angelic in appearance, right? In terms of the fact that they were to some degree immortal. Really, they were truly immortal, to be honest. And then they also had the ability to manipulate like cosmic energy. They could fly, different things like that. And so early depictions by mankind in terms of how they view the Eternals is that they were basically gods. And then you had baseline humans. Now the genes, as they were modified by the Celestials regarding baseline humans, they were just sent out into the world. What we ended up finding out later on is that the genes were modified in two ways. The first is that X genes were planted in some of them, and then in the others, their genes were simply modified in such a way so that when the time came when they were bestowed with powers, they wouldn't die in the process, right? So that explains why Bruce Banner didn't die when he was exposed to gamma radiation. It explains why Steve Rogers didn't die when he was injected with the super soldier serum and blasted with Vita rays, right? It explains why those things happen and why they turned into superheroes as opposed to just dying from radiation sickness. Because the genes, as they were modified by the Celestials, lent themselves to developing powers. Now, in terms of following this sort of classification order, it actually kind of goes in a pretty linear progression, right? So the earliest mutants that we saw start to rise to prominence were effectively externals. Now, the question is, what are externals? These are mutants who are legitimately immortal, right? Immune to like aging, they're immune to disease, illness, anything that could cause physical harm on their body. They're immune to all those things. Now, it does not mean they have a healing factor, and it does not mean they're indestructible, right? Immortality and indestructibility are two distinctly different things. Immortality, as it's explained, or really as it's defined by Marvel Comics, is simply just the inability to die of old age. That's basically what immortality is. So the traditional definition. Invulnerability is, of course, invulnerability, the inability to sustain physical harm. For characters like Selene, for example, she's defined as an external, but not really, and I'll talk about why here in a second. But characters like Gideon, for example, are. Now with Selene, she's a character, the reason why she's not really an external is because for a character like Gideon, he'll just live forever, right? I mean, he was born into the world, his mutant gene activated probably around puberty, and he basically developed true immortality. Now, because he's not invulnerable, his head was chopped off by Cable in the 1990s, and he's basically been dead ever since. And then I think he came back recently. Honestly, Gideon was never really that important, so I don't really care. He was in the early stories of Cable, but in terms of the modern day, it doesn't really matter. But with someone like Selene, she has to drain the life energy off people in order to sustain her essence, in order to keep herself alive. So she's not truly immortal, right? The same thing goes for someone like Apocalypse, but Apocalypse is kind of a mixed situation, right? Because Selene was born 10,000 years ago, Apocalypse was born 5,000 years later, and he was a character who developed immortality when his mutant gene activated during a high level of stress. And then, in turn, he later discovered celestial technology that allowed him to modify his body even further and then give himself virtually every single superhuman power. So you could argue that he's an external because he was legitimately immortal, but Marvel's never clearly defined that, right? They never really come out and said Apocalypse is an external. We're just kind of left to sort of make that decision for ourselves and then just kind of go from there. From there, you get into what are called proto-mutants. Now, there were a handful of mutants here and there that, kind of a smattering around the world that popped up between 5,000 years ago and probably around 700 or 800 years ago, but Marvel's never really defined them, right? They're just kind of like some remains that were found somewhere, and then that's basically it. Mutants that Marvel's written in such a way where they claim to have been around since like the very beginnings of life on Earth, so like they're billions of years old, but none of those things have ever really been confirmed by anybody. It's just a statement someone made, right? So until such a time as a character makes a statement in terms of what class they belong to, and then the story is written in a way where another character goes to investigate and then confirms it, then we can't really assume that it's true. We just kind of have to go with it and make up our own minds of what we do or do not want to believe. But in terms of anywhere between 700 to 800 years ago, probably around 600 years ago, you had proto-mutants. And proto-mutants were kind of a branch off from other mutants that were popping up around that point in time. The difference between proto-mutants and traditional mutants is that proto-mutants almost kind of had like a wild, unchecked kind of power, right? In the sense of like, they were kind of pushed to the extreme. And we didn't really know what sort of power they would manifest, and in reality, we don't really know much about them at all. All we really know is what it is that Gabriel Shepard told us, or at least how his character was written in Marvel Comics, in the sense that he was just one of the proto-mutants who was there. Pretty much all of them were wiped out in Macedonia during the Black Plague, and or at least as being believed to be the cause of the Black Plague, and he's the only one left. But looking at the power that he has, we can largely assume that most of the proto-mutants during that time had power, similar to that, if not almost identical, right? So he has the ability to stop time in a localized space. He has the ability to manipulate reality on really what seems to be a universal scale. There's no absolute definition of that. He can manipulate the electromagnetic spectrum. He can fly. He has telepathy, telekinesis. He has a huge, wide array of different powers. Different fans have kind of argued that he was the ideal candidate for the Celestials. When they first started modifying the genes of early man, he's what they were supposed to be. It wasn't until later that Marvel came back and confirmed it was actually Franklin Richards, right? Because Franklin Richards turning out the way he did, he was what the Celestials were looking for when they started modifying the genes of man, right? Like, he was the verification that their experiment succeeded, is essentially what it was, right? Like, somebody on the same power level as themselves, if not maybe even a little bit higher. But following proto-mutants, that's when you really go into, like, the modern day level of mutants, right? Like, the modern day era of mutants, where you just kind of have different people with different powers all over the place. I mean, to me, those are the three main classifications. There are characters like Homo Supreme, like Mr. Immortal, who is a legitimately immortal guy, right? Like, if he dies, he'll just be reborn in a different form. Or maybe that's a Forever Man. He'll always end up coming back, basically. But the gist behind this is that